Just where do we stand in terms of property turmoil? Put it in context for our global audience. How worried do we need to be?
Well, any kind of collapse or default at Country Garden is a big deal. And it does look like investors are very seriously worried about the risk there. As you say, the stock, a Hong Kong penny stock, the bonds around 7 cents on the dollar, high levels of distress here. And in part, that's because the coupon, the payment that needs to be made is only about 22 million. It's not an enormous amount of money. But I suppose there is this anxiety that the chair people of property developers so far haven't been inclined to back and kind of go into their own back pocket to pay. Now, the reason why this is so worrying is two elements. The first is that people are worried this might precipitate a broader wave of defaults in China's developer market. After the sort of Evergrande default, the Kaiser default that we saw back in 2021, the feeling was that wave of initial collapses was for the most part over, and we were just dealing with the consequences. Now, we've also had a number of other couple of defaults by other smaller developers. It looks like we might be seeing a fresh wave of distress. So that's worrying. The second part of that is the impact on China's economy. If China really struggles to get growth back and going, obviously that will have a ripple through impact into the global economy. I don't think we're hearing the same kind of worries about, a Lehman-style collapse that we heard the first time round with Evergrande. But this issue of China's property market has been an enormous drag on the growth for China. The other element here, just to keep watching, is whether or not we see social unrest. After Evergrande defaulted, we saw this wave of boycotts on payments. Now, that did then prompt Beijing to step in and try and ensure that houses were delivered to people who'd bought them. Country Garden, 4 times as many projects as Evergrande. The bulk of those in low-tier cities. So there is a lot of potential here for homeowners to be impacted. And that's really where we'll see Beijing focus its attention. I think it's unlikely they're going to go in with any kind of direct liquidity support. They will be most primarily worried about managing that social unrest element.